Hello Libra! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Gilded Tarot Royale by Churro Marchetti, text by Barbara Moore, website at the bottom, llewellyn.com, and there's some social media links. Feel free to check out whatever you need to, just freeze frame if you need to, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish, and the website at the bottom is hayhouse.com. Okay. We did Gemini's backwards. I think we're going to do yours backwards too. So that's interesting. Which is just backwards for me is doing the Oracle cards first, in case you're wondering what I mean by that. I don't know if we're going to need it. Yeah, one more card. All right. Ooh, okay. Glad we didn't skip out on that one. There's a lot of cards this time. Usually I do mainly tarot cards. A lot of cards. Things going on around this situation. There's kind of a messy situation going on around it. There's a messy situation around this situation. So where are we starting with Libra? Like, where did you come into this picture? The messy situation around that, I don't think you're going to get sucked into it, but it is definitely a concern. Messy, like something's messy here. All right, so you wanted to be a part of it. I got the Magician, and then the Nine of Swords reversed. I feel like the reason I got involved is because I was worried about somebody or worried about something. And I was looking at this situation and I felt like certain people were getting shafted, screwed over, however you want to put it. There's a lot of hiccups here too. I feel like I had more stress on the outside. For some of you, maybe you had a child involved in something or a family member, somebody who maybe a friend, could be a coworker that means a lot to you. Somebody was involved in a situation. And I knew it wasn't right, and I was afraid that they were going to get treated poorly. So I felt like I had to get involved. I was stressed until I got involved because I had to know more what was going on. So I had to know more. I had to get closer to the situation. So I wanted to be a part of it, and that's why, because it relieved stress to know more about what's actually happening. These two cards, like a lot of times the Six of Pentacles is kind of a version of the Libra of a Libra energy. It's Earth in your air, so it's a different element, but it's the balancing. But this is telling me that there's more long-term work that had to go on here, and I wanted to have more confidence about what the truth was. Libra's very good at finding the truth because you let people talk, you get people talking, you let them talk. I feel like people tell you things and they don't realize they told you things. Libra's pretty smart. Like, you read between the lines like nobody's business. And you pick up on the situation, you pick up on the body language and how people talk or who avoids who or who's here and who's not. You pick up on all that good stuff. Like, you get all these angles of what's going on. I really think, communication is kind of an art form, obviously, but like it's not just the outward way, it's the inward, like what's going on around you. It's almost like not only when something is said, but where it was said, like what's going on in the environment. Are people upset when the truth is coming out, or is it when people are relaxed, or stuff like that. So this is how we got involved in this. I do feel like whatever this is, I feel like you've kind of muted your own energy for a reason. Muted your own energy? Like, what do we mean by that? Like, I feel like you've been playing more of the supportive player. More of the, oh, what's going on there? I can help with that. What do you need? Okay, I can help with that. I don't feel like you've been moving things forward. I don't feel like you've been, like, crafting anything or, like, creating any type of situation. I feel like I've just kind of been going with the flow. Muting your own energy. Kind of like, I didn't want to tell anybody what to do. I just wanted to see how it was going to play out, that type of thing. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There is a little bit of a pressure in the sense of like, I'm starting to feel like I need to do something, but one of the reasons you might have been playing it the way you have been playing it is there's this other energy around you. Now, in the zodiac, sometimes this is Aries. Aries is your opposite. It's a very ironic opposite between the two of you. Both of you are very interested in the truth and what actually happened. You both have completely different ways to go about it. Libra is typically more peaceful. Let's work it out. We want people to get along. I'm not a Libra, but you like people to get along. You're like, we can do this in a peaceful manner. We take our time, and the truth will surface, and I need to know what's actually going on and how people are handling it. Aries is more kind of like brutal, kind of like, listen, that's wrong, we're fixing it now. You don't like it, I don't like it either, get out. So they're not going to play games, they're going to be very brutal. They're kind of like, if the cake is wrong, we're throwing it out, we'll start again from scratch. You're more like, well, the cake, all right, the cake isn't quite right, but we can refurbish it a little bit. Maybe we can use that, like, it's a little too tart, but maybe we can mix it with a different frosting and we can make it work. You know what I mean? Aries would be like, no, it's too tart. This isn't what they wanted. We're getting rid of it, starting from scratch. You're like, well, it is a little bit tart, but it's not. We don't have to throw it away. We just got to match it with a different frosting. Maybe cut it a little thinner. Maybe add a couple of different layers of a vanilla in there. We can still make it work. It'll still be edible. It'll still be good. It just won't be what we originally planned. That's kind of Libra's way, if that makes sense. If I'm making sense of that, kind of like, okay, yeah, the cake is tart, but if we put more layers, add a different layer in between. We have the tart cake and we have a more muted cake, a tart cake, more muted cake, and we put something that'll mute that down with the frosting, where the frosting isn't too powerful. You're like, I think we can make it work. Aries would be like, no, it's just the wrong cake. We were supposed to make, a strawberry, a very delicate strawberry, and this is way too strong. This is wrong. I don't know why we're going there with that. You each have your own way of solving a problem. Okay, but that might be that harshness might be too much for you at times, and I feel like maybe that's one of the reasons your energy has been muted. You don't have to be dealing with an Aries, by the way. I know I'm giving you Aries characteristics. Some people match with this energy very well. I actually do personally. I prefer somebody tell me the truth. I don't care if it's brutal, as long as it's the truth. But what I'm getting here from this is like, you might have been like, all right, this is a little bit more aggressive than I care for, and I don't want to get involved in that, so I'm going to let it be. That energy seems to be going over somewhere else. So if this is a business situation, maybe you've been on the same team for a while. Now they might be going off. Maybe they're not completely leaving the team, but they're a part of a different project. Then maybe you guys are doing different projects. Maybe technically you're on the same team still, but you're doing different projects. That energy might be kind of like going to the side for a little while. I do want to say that I'm not getting like a negative energy with this. I'm just getting more of a, like, the way they do things is more harsh, bold. More harsh in your opinion, bold in my opinion. As that energy goes and does other things, I do feel like there's some stress left behind, because people are like, well, that's the person that kept this in check. And now that person's overdoing that. Well, how are we going to keep this situation in check now? Because the person who was keeping it in check is doing other things. And there's some stress around this. Even though I feel like you might be kind of like, okay, this could get better, because they're a little bit too much for me, and I do find them kind of a stress at times. This is your moment to move in very carefully, very calmly. I don't feel you like taking over, but I do feel you like trying to help the right people move forward, the right people in your opinion. I don't know why we're saying it that way, but like, I feel like you're kind of like, all right, you're giving people information, you're helping people who don't, like, you see things other people don't see. I feel like you know that. You're helping the right people move forward. You're keeping people informed. I don't see you on the front. I don't see you out front stage, like on stage. I see you more behind the scenes. Like, if you see a lot of politicians, they have somebody talking in their ear. They have one of those earpieces. You be the person talking in the earpiece. somebody else might be the front or the head of what's going on, but you're kind of like, you're letting them know what's going on, you're keeping them informed, you're helping them move forward, you're kind of advising, maybe more privately. That's why I'm kind of getting the earpiece thing, like you're advising, you're helping, but you might be kind of private, like I don't want people to know that I'm doing that, but you're doing that. I do feel like this is a very good thing for you. You're very happy, you got the Lover's card with the joy, you're loving how this is working out. Is there anything else I should say about that? I don't think anything's bad with that. This is where the stress comes in for you, because it's like, all right, now that I'm starting to have influence, it's only a matter of time before people figure it out. It's really weird because things are going more the way you'd prefer they went. And on the outside, it seems like it's very nice, but I feel like you're starting to be stressed when this starts to happen. When that stress starts to come in, because I do feel like you're taking more of a quiet role, more of a private role. They're saying, conveniently organize your way out of it. Kind of like, okay, I've been doing this and telling people and keeping them informed, but it's getting a little stressful now. The other person seemed to go off and do something else. Maybe this is your chance to go off and do something else. Because I feel like because you're keeping a private role, a private connection, there's something here where you can kind of move yourself away from it. There might be an opportunity here, something like that, because I feel like take that opportunity and move away from the situation. And kind of like the organization makes me feel like whatever's there needs to play out the way it needs to play out. You helped as much as you could. Step away from it, and then just kind of go on to what you need to next. That organization, there's something with that I think I need to say, but I'm not sure what exactly it is. Seven of Pentacles, half in, half out, in the Sagittarius card. It's actually the Temperance card. I don't know why I'm calling it Sagittarius card, even though Temperance does sometimes allude to Sagittarius. There's something else that needs you that's not quite working out. This other situation, is it this situation, or something is not going to work out? I feel like I'm shutting something down. I'm letting something shut down. And maybe they're saying that's why you should back off from it and kind of walk away. The situation is kind of imploding a little bit. That first energy that walked away, the timing was correct, I'm getting, because the situation needs to kind of shut itself down, however that happens. They're kind of letting you know, because I feel like that's where the stress is going to come in for you. Maybe you're going to be like, okay, I thought I could help this work out a little bit better. I thought this had other potential, other ways this could go, but I'm starting to see the stress coming in on me because there's some elements to this situation that do not want to work. When that moment comes, they're saying take your exit. Don't run. Don't see this to the end. Don't see this to the bitter end. Do not go down with the ship. I'm never been a fan. I was always confused me as a kid, like the whole idea of the captain or the crew going down with the ship. I'm not a fan of it. It just seems like that's a bad idea. That doesn't make sense to me, like why you would do that. It seems like that's more of a political view for the people who bought the ship. They want to make sure you do everything to make sure that ship does not sink. So if you're going to die with it, you're going to do everything you can to save the ship. I don't know. I just feel like it's a political ridiculousness. But don't go down with the ship is what they're saying. Abandon ship when you see it sinking. Do yourself that favor. Abandon ship when you see it sinking. Don't hang out for the carnage. There's a lot of discord around this situation. There's people wanting what they want. There's people thinking they know what's going on. There's a lot of that commotion around this. You don't have to be in that. It's not going to make you happy. It's kind of like a bar fight, in my opinion. A drunken bar fight. I saw the movie Roadhouse recently. I saw it years ago, but I saw it again recently. In the beginning, they have these bar fights, and all these people are fighting, and it's just craziness. You don't need to be involved in a bar fight. Nothing good comes out of that. That's all I'm saying. So if you can get out of there, leave the bar before that happens, you don't have to worry about that, because you can't. It's really hard to rationalize with people who aren't sober, especially if they're at a very deep degree of not being sober. Intoxicated, you know what I mean. No matter what the substance is. So you don't have to do that. When this clears out, and this will clear out, whatever's left, okay, that's why fertility is there. It reminds me of a field. like a lot of times farmers will use manure, which is leftover animal excrement, to replenish the nutrients in a field so they can grow new healthy crops. When this is done, there's a lot of opportunities that will show up. That's another reason for you to step to the side, let it solve itself, because I feel like it's deconstructing, and it needs to deconstruct all the way down. This is like a really slow tower moment. I don't think the tower is out here, but that's kind of what it feels like. It's like a really slow tower moment. When it's completely deconstructed, there's going to be a very fertile field left over. That's where you, if you come back in, you already know what a lot of this is already built from. You can see where, okay, these people who were in that last situation, I can pull them back in. I know who's good, I know who's not, and I can help rebuild that. I can be a part of that afterwards. And you will be also in a position to block what needs to be blocked. I don't feel like this is a total block, but I feel like they're saying you will be able to block what needs to be blocked, so that we don't have a repeat of what we've already done. It's also something that's going to start at a slow stage. Pages, in my opinion, they have potential to grow sometimes, and that's what I'm getting from this situation. I don't think this is an Ace of Pentacles moment. Well, we don't have the Ace of Pentacles out here, but I'm getting like we're going to rebuild from something that was already there. I feel like it's almost like, it's almost like a room was ransacked and destroyed by children. Like they were just crazy violent, and there's a lot of damage to the room. The window got broken, all this other stuff. We're going to take the same space. We're going to redo it. We're going to repaint things. We're going to correct things. We're going to fix things. We're going to get a new door, stuff like that. Maybe make the space bigger if possible, but we're going to be rebuilding from things we already have. That's, again, why you would block things that need to be blocked and help build things that need to be rebuilt. So whatever reason the thing went to ruin the first time, we don't want that repeating. So it's almost like we're building from something that's already started, and you're going to help, like, I think of this as like a 12 to 14-year-old child. Are they ready to live life on their own? No. But are they smart enough to do a lot and be very capable and very helpful? Yes. So that's kind of where this is going to start from when you re-add into it. I think we're good. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.